288 minutes, mate. That must have... What? I think I heard Neil flick his mic on down there in the pit lane. Where have you got down to, Neil?
I was just watching the JDC Miller Motorsports, the leading Porsche and GTP, do that pit stop. Very smooth driver change and just a quick splash of fuel, nothing else to the car, no tyres. So yeah, driver change and on it goes.
Yeah, no point in changing drivers when you've barely been over 50 miles an hour. I think Nico, how long has he been in that car? So Nico got in that car at 4 minutes past 11. Sorry, no, work that the other way, John. 4 minutes past 1 in the morning. So he's been in that car for exactly 3 hours, and he's not seen a green flag lap.
The weird thing, John, is at the moment they're lapping at about 3 minutes 25. Fastest lap in the race is 1 minute 36, so way off the pace. But this is going to be much more tiring, I would concur, than if they were at full racing pace, even doing a double, even doing a triple stint.
My former commentary colleague at ITV Sport, when we used to do the supports for touring cars, and Motors TV actually, and he was with us last weekend in Dubai, Simon Hill, tells the story. I was commentating on the race he's talking about. Tells the story of the 24-hour race at Silverstone that we had fog like this overnight and went round behind the safety car. It was much colder than this, much colder. And race cars are not known for being hermetically sealed. Water and drafts get into cars. It was so cold and he was so tired because there was nothing to concentrate on that he actually went off the track and only woke up dozed for a moment, but literally went off the track onto the grass, and a bump stopped him from driving straight into the Armco, and he was able to ease the car back on the track because it was so cold.
Where on the? Do you remember where on the circuit that was?
I have a suspicion that would have been. Now, which version of the track would have been? Because it was a few years ago as well. I suspect it would have been going probably up to the Beckett's kind of complex.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. So he sort of waved goodbye to hello to the good people at Whittlebury Hall, and then turned right and rejoined. But exactly. I mean, and talk about that's. I mean, you'd suddenly have just a massive adrenaline download after that. We've all had moments, sad, normally coming back from race meetings, where you suddenly have a little doze, but not good.
Now, people have been asking on @imsaratio.com, and those of you tuned in on Peacock, also asking, well, how does this stack up in terms of weather here at Daytona International Speedway in the past? 2011 was another year where we had overnight fog. That was the days of Grand Am, of course, and the cars looking very different from the front of the field prototypes now. 2013, I think that was the year I first came here, actually, and that again was a year where the lighting was highlighting the fact that was still with the old grandstand with the checkers on before we had the Daytona Rising project, and when the new grandstand was built there was new lighting put above us here. But this for this amount of time has been on for, as I say, well over 3 hours now, and the drivers studiously avoiding using their windscreen wipers, even though there is not rain, but there's so much moisture in the air. I dare say if we were on the golf cart riding around and we didn't have the windscreen folded up, you would get damp on that. This is the kind of dampness that gets into your woolly jumper if you've got one on. 91% humidity, and so as soon as you've got any forward motion, that's that water content, those water droplets in the air are being released, in this case onto the windscreens of the cars doing 60, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, you stand in it, you don't feel the damp. As soon as you start moving forward,
Yeah.
and you don't realise you're wet until you realise, oh, I am actually remarkably wet. So really, really hard. But the thing I'm thinking about, say we go through to 9 o'clock until the sun comes up and eventually starts burning this off. That leaves us only 4 hours and 40 minutes as an end game.
That's
is
a sprint
really
race at that point.
Exactly so. So, you know, the old adage that you'd go through the night and then see where you were placed in the morning, you think, yeah, that's great. That was 20, 30, 40 years ago. This is modern racing. It shouldn't be like that because the cars are so reliable. However, we're going to pop out in this. I hope we get some daylight earlier than that. But it's suddenly a whole new game. And I'm just thinking there are some crews that are very, very short on driver experience around here. And you're going to have to say that unless they're really well led from the pits, they're going to struggle a bit. But it's going to be an extraordinary chess game.
I just wonder.
My wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win, we'll fly to Paris. I bet you won't get toned with just